ARMY shakes. What exactly happened? BTS's Jungkook, the Golden Meanie, was caught on camera flying to the United States, unaccompanied by any of the other members. Not a promotion, not a fan meeting, not an announced schedule. Is this the beginning of the great plan that HYBE has been hiding? Or could it be that Jungkook will choose his own path, leaving BTS's shadow behind? Amid a surge in solo popularity, the release of Never Let Go, and the debut of the Disney Plus reality show Are You Sure? Why precisely does this silent step feel like a farewell signal? Have you ever felt your heart rate change just because of one news that was too hard to believe? Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the smile of an idol you've always admired, someone who is so perfect on stage, but maybe harboring plans you never imagined? That day, the world seemed to stop beating for millions of ARMY around the world. Jungkook, who has been known as the laughing and light magne of BTS, was caught on camera at the international airport with his quick steps and head bowed. No smiles, no greetings, no other members. He was alone. And what makes it all the more silent? The final destination of his trip is America. Questions began to roll in the minds of many people. Where did he go? Why did he go alone? Why is there no official statement from HYBE? And why did this move come just a few weeks after she released an emotional single called Never Let Go, a song that seemed to be the last love letter to her fans? The song was released on June 7th, 2024. The moment was so sacred, as it was Jungkook's first solo project since he completed his military service. The song is not just a musical release. It is a tearful narrative of someone who has long held a longing for the stage and fans. But even before the emotion was fully digested by the ARMY, Jungkook shook everyone's hearts again, this time not with singing, but with silence. By going quietly, and like an unstoppable domino effect, one clue at a time began to appear. As if everything had been designed long ago. Exactly 2 months after the song's release, on August 8, 2024, the Disney Plus reality show titled Are You Sure? On air. The series features Jungkook and Jimin exploring unfamiliar places with a laugh that sounds sweet, yet somehow feels a bit depressing. Is it just our feelings? Or is there something they are really hiding? In some scenes, Jungkook looks so silent. Jimin tries to break the ice, but often Jungkook's gaze is blankly gazing far into the sky. And now, as he suddenly heads to America, does this have anything to do with something he's never said publicly? Is this trip part of a big project that other members don't know about? Or could it be that he decided to start a new life outside the shadow of BTS? One of the most surprising things is the fact that not a single Korean media covered this trip in depth. As if everything was silent, as if there was something to protect.
But why?
Doesn't the ARMY have a right to know? Haven't they been Jungkook's home all along? Or precisely because too much is at stake if the truth is exposed? Even more astounding, Rolling Stone named Jungkook one of the 200 greatest singers of all time, placing him in 191st place. He was praised as a vocalist full of expression and technical strength. But in that list, not once is BTS's name mentioned. Not because it was forgotten, but because Jungkook now stands alone as a whole entity, no longer just a part of something bigger. Does that mean he is testing the world? See how far he can go alone. A video recording from X, formerly Twitter, shows Jungkook at the airport, wearing a dark hoodie, mask, and sunglasses. It was as if it wanted to merge with the shadows, but still the aura was too strong to ignore. Fans began to enliven the hashtags #Jungkook in America and #WhereIsJK. And just like the flood, conspiracy theories began to hit social media. Some say he will collaborate with great American artists. Some suspect he is preparing for his acting debut. But the most surprising, some say he was looking for permanent residence. Outside of Korea, is Jungkook tired? Does he no longer feel comfortable in the pressure that BTS's name brings? Or maybe this is the result of pressure that he has never expressed clearly? Jimin once said in an interview, Jungkook often keeps everything to himself. It carries too much in silence. That sentence is now coming back to haunt. In the 3rd episode of Are You Sure? There is a scene when Jimin asks, "What would you do if one day you weren't with us anymore?" Jungkook is just laughing, which sounds too bitter to be happy. HYBE himself has not yet given an official statement, even when major international media began to highlight this news. And it was precisely that silence that made everything feel even more suspicious. Why would a company as big as HYBE choose to be silent on an issue as big as this? What are they hiding? Is it true that Jungkook is preparing to move labels? Or is he negotiating something much bigger than just music? Some fans noticed that since the beginning of 2024, Jungkook has been using strange symbols more and more in his posts. Eye emoji, shooting stars, and world map. Not many understand. But now, when he actually goes to a foreign land, it all starts to feel like a password. Has he been giving signals all this time, but we are insensitive? If it is true that this is the beginning of Jungkook's new chapter, then the most painful question is, does that chapter still include BTS? Still in the army? Or will it close the doors of the past and step into a completely new world? Behind all the theories and suspicions, one thing is certain. Jungkook's move towards America is no ordinary one. This is the beginning of something. Whether it's hope or separation, only time can answer. But for the millions of hearts once touched by his voice and sincerity, this journey is more than just a physical journey. This is a big clue about the inevitability of change, and when all is quiet, only one voice continues to vibrate inside our heads. Why alone? Jungkook? Why now? Done? Why does it feel like a goodbye? However, question after question continued to smolder. Is this a form of resistance? Opposition to the system? Against expectations? Or even to the extent that it has been constraining him as an idol? Jungkook is known as a person who is always obedient, disciplined, and loves his team. But who knows what he really felt all this time? Who really knows what kind of wound he keeps after so many years of living in the spotlight without a break? A lot of ARMY started digging back into old interviews, live broadcasts, even bits and pieces from behind-the-scenes concerts, trying to piece together clues that might have been hidden in a word, a look, or even an overly forced smile. One of the videos that went viral again was when Jungkook said in a live broadcast in 2023, "Sometimes I want to be quiet. Not because I'm tired of you guys, but because I want to know what a world without sound would be like around me." Was his departure to America the embodiment of that desire? To find a lonely world? A world where he doesn't have to answer questions, doesn't have to hide pain, and doesn't have to be an idol to everyone. What made it all the more confusing was the fact that he left Korea without much luggage. Only one large backpack, headphones, and a pair of white shoes look worn out. There was no manager beside him. There was no staff to guide him. Even the Korean media didn't cover it until the video emerged from a fan who happened to be at the same airport, as if this was all designed to remain a secret. But what kind of secrets does someone as big as Jungkook carry? Shortly after the video went viral, Jimin uploaded an Instagram story that immediately sparked a stir. A photo of the night sky with a small caption underneath. Sometimes, stars need to move away first to shine brighter. Is that a form of support for Jungkook? Or a subtle farewell? An insider from the Korean entertainment industry, who asked not to be named, said that over the past few months, Jungkook has often been seen in and out of his private studio in the Gangnam area, without any official project records being released. And what is even more surprising, the studio turned out to belong to an American producer known as a concoctor of works for The Weeknd, Billie Eilish, and Justin Bieber. Is this a signal that Jungkook is preparing an international mega project? However, on the other hand, some fans suspect this is a form of escapism. From pressure. From fame. From expectations are too great. Anyone know? After BTS decided to temporarily focus on solo activities and conscription, Jungkook was the only one who really shot up very quickly. And just as lightning strikes light, it also leaves a shadow behind it, a lonely shadow that he may never allow to be seen. When all eyes are on this departure, one of the old statements from BTS's Jin comes to the fore again. In a 2022 interview, Jin once said, "If Jungkook wants to leave, we should all be prepared not to hold him back. Because he doesn't live for us, he lives for himself." That sentence used to be considered just a joke. But now, everything turned into a prophecy. HYBE remained silent. They released a brief statement, We cannot comment on the artist's personal activities. A sentence too bland to answer the wave of anxiety of millions of fans. Because this is not just a personal activity. It's a departure that feels like the silence before the storm. And the ARMY knows that one thing has always been true of Jungkook. He never leaves for no good reason. And if there really is a secret project, why should it be hidden from the public? Even from colleagues of one group? Or could it be that the members knew and deliberately let Jungkook go quietly in order to keep the D? It didn't take long for the rest of the world to realize that Jungkook's departure wasn't just an ordinary trip. When fans from different countries began to flood the airports of Los Angeles and New York in an attempt to find out the exact whereabouts of the idol, a shocking fact appeared from behind the scenes. One American entertainment industry observer, who is also known to be close to a number of major labels, wrote mysteriously on his personal platform, "A storm is coming. Korea sent us their brightest star and not for a visit. This is permanent." The sentence immediately sparked wild speculation. Is it true that Jungkook's departure is to settle permanently in America? This is reinforced by Jungkook's appearance in a secret studio in the Burbank, California area, a studio that has been known to be closed and only used by musicians with large-scale global projects. Fans who were near the scene swore they saw a figure similar to Jungkook get out of a black car without a public license plate, wearing a leather jacket, and go straight inside the building without excessive guard. And what gives goosebumps even more? At the same studio, 2 weeks earlier, a journalist noted that the Oscar-winning director's film was conducting a closed audition process for the male lead in his 20s. Is that a coincidence? Jungkook has always been known for his vocal strength, his performances on stage, and incredible charisma. But acting? The world has never seen him really try. But those who have watched the documentary pieces Break the Silence, Bring the Soul, and Burn the Stage know that there is something in the way Jungkook cries silently, in the way he laughs yet harbors pain, that his acting skills are not the result of practice, but something very natural. Something that can only be had by those whose lives have truly experienced love, loss, hope, and stress at one time. If it is true that he will debut in the American film world, could that be the real reason he left Korea? Or is it all HYBE's covert strategy to expand their power into the global film industry, using Jungkook as a major pawn? But whatever the reason, there is one question that haunts fans the most. Why does it all feel like a breakup? The ARMY, which had been so loyal and strong, was now overshadowed by anxiety that they could not suppress. Especially when rumors began to grow that Jungkook had canceled a number of BTS internal meetings that were supposed to be held after the airing of the last episode of Are You Sure? Even Taeil, who is usually active on social media, suddenly disappeared for 5 days without a trace. Is there something going on behind the scenes that they don't want to talk about? Could this be the beginning of a split that has been covered with smiles and laughter on the air of variety shows? A longtime fan from South Korea uploaded a surprising compilation of short videos. In the clips, there appear to be some rare moments when Jungkook looks like he's holding something back, whether tears, anger, or disappointment. One of them was during the filming of a reality show when Jimin tried to joke about a future without Jungkook, and he just replied with a stiff smile and said, "Maybe it's calmer." Easy. A word that is supposed to be soothing, but in that context, it is suffocating. And amid the slicing silence, another shock came like a storm. The American Billboard suddenly announced that there will be a big surprise collaboration in the final quarter of 2025 between a South Korean superstar who is rebuilding her identity with one of the world's pop divas. Names started milling around: Ariana Grande, Doja Cat, Olivia Rodrigo. But only one made all eyes: Taylor Swift. Fans recalled that last year, Jungkook sang the song Enchanted while live, calling Taylor Swift the ultimate lyricist, and said that he learned to write from the way Taylor conveyed her feelings. If the collaboration does happen, it's not just world music that will change, but Jungkook's position as a global artist will never be the same again. He's not just a Korean star anymore. It will become an international symbol. Does this transformation have to cost anything? Should he leave the house that has been protecting him? BTS, ARMY, Korea? ARMY knew right away this is no ordinary song. This is a message. For whom? No need to ask. Everyone knows it's for Jungkook. But what can't be answered is, did Jungkook see it? And if he sees, will he come back?